Hey, ladies, doing today?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Very good, thank you. And again, if you have a question on something, feel free to chime in. I know this stuff pretty well, so I'm here for you. I want to, of course, thank the coaches for having me in today, and hopefully we can come away with some good knowledge. So, when we say mindset, what pops into your head? Do you see like a Zen Buddhist sitting on a mountaintop? Do you see somebody meditating? Do you see somebody like psyching somebody up? Look, let me ask you something. I'm not gonna pick out names. You want to say names, fine, but it doesn't matter. But I'm just gonna ask you because I'm looking at silly. So, what percentage do you think of wrestling and performance is mindset?
More than 80%.
Yeah, so you're pretty accurate. So experts will say anywhere from 80 to 90% of your performance is based upon your mindset. I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy, his name is Kevin Booth. Check him out sometime. Kevin Booth and I did a photo and video shoot for Getty Images a number of years ago. And he was a football player with the Giants. Big dude, like 6'7", 300 plus pounds. Okay, and we got to talking because you're doing a shoot for a couple days. You have a lot of downtime, and we're BSing. And I said, tell me your background and so forth, because he actually never played high school football, yet he wound up with 2 Super Bowl rings. His mother wouldn't let him play football. She had him in the marching band. I mean, here's this like monster of a guy in the marching band, okay? Not his mom wouldn't let him play football. Goes to Cornell, Ivy League school, says, you know what? I'm going out for the football team. Goes out, finds out he's really good at it, okay? Becomes all Ivy League, gets drafted. And, he's bouncing around, went to a different teams, and he was always on a practice squad, but then he got traded to the Giants. So he's there, and he's on the practice squad, and then one year he said to himself, what? Look, I'm doing the same training these guys are. I'm physically the same. I'm eating the same food. Everything's the same. Why am I not starting? He said to himself? He goes, I'm going to start. I am resolute. I am not going to give up. And he said, I'm just not going to ever let anyone get up on me. And guess what? From the practice squad, he made the travel team. From the travel team, he got an opportunity to start, and he started and played in 2 Super Bowls. Got 2 Super Bowl rings. And that's all because of his mindset. If you have 2 people and they're equal, the person with the better mindset is going to win. Right? The person with the better mindset is going to win. So we can see that the mindset is very important. And Celine said it was like 80, maybe 90%, who knows, right? How much time do you spend on your mindset training? 0.0 maybe, right? Here, what's your mindset? Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go out there, go get them, right? Yeah, that's my mindset training. I'm good. My head's ready. No. There's a lot more that goes into it than that. And by not doing this, do you think you're shortchanging yourself? Do you think that mindset then can go into other areas of life? Do you think it's just about wrestling? No. Wrestling's a microcosm of life. Do you know what I mean by microcosm? It's a little piece, little representation of life. Okay? And the things that you learn here on a mat translate to the real world. And I'll tell you, as much as I've ever done and accomplished in my life, I consider myself a wrestler. Even though I've done much, I've done better things in other areas, but I don't think I would have ever done it unless I had that mindset from wrestling. And I'll tell you, I was involved in the mindset training back in the 80s. Oh my God, 80s? My parents weren't born then. So yeah, Dr. Gilbert, who was over at Montclair State, he's one of the forefront of this mindset training for athletes. And No, I was consistently inconsistent. You know what that means? Like beat somebody really good one day, and then lose to somebody that couldn't shine your shoes basically the next. Like consistently inconsistent. And I went to him, and I went through this mindset training. And I'll tell you what, it flipped a switch for me. And I go into one of the tournaments, and my coach said to me, it was a fighting karate tournament. He says to me, "Here, you're fighting this guy next, watch him." I'm like, "No." And he's like, "No, you're fighting him next, watch him." No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to dictate the terms of this fight. I'm not going to let him dictate it to me. Because if I'm thinking about what he's going to do, how can I think about what I'm doing? Right? You want to have is it a predator or prey mentality? Right? So, if you're focused on what he's going to do or she's going to do or your opponent's going to do, then you can't focus on what you do best. And just as a side, I won first. I beat everybody. Okay? And my coach never bothered me again. Okay? And it really helped me moving forward. And the thing is that, when you're talking about dictating the terms of the fight, dictating the terms of the match, it's got to be on your terms. Like here, when someone ties up with you, what do? You tie back? No. Pop them with a Russian. Drag out. Do something. Because they're doing that. They're dictating the terms of this fight. The fight has to be on your terms. Your tie or no tie. And that's how we always want to think. So we're talking about the predator versus prey mentality, okay? Where are the eyes on a predator? Where are the eyes on?
Like straight
forward, right? Why is that?
So they can attack better?
Yeah. Eyes in the front like to hunt, okay? So I'm laser focused here. I'm focused on my objective. That's what a hunter is, right? Now, like a deer, mouse, squirrel, where are their eyes? Eyes on the side, right? Eyes on the side like to hide, okay? Because they're constantly distracted. Like, anybody ever hunt? Okay. Yeah. So you see a deer, right? Right? Always eat something. Look now, see squirrels, right? Running around the park. Right? They're completely distracted. Why? Because if they're not, they're going to die. They're going to get eaten by something. Now, you look at the cat, right? Focused directly on its quarry, looking at it. Doesn't worry about what's going on around it. Doesn't care. It's focused. And what we have to do is determine the behaviors that we're doing. Are they predator or prey? Because if it's anything but a predator mindset, it's useless. Here, I was down at the States, and I was talking to this one young man, and he wound up winning first place. And said to him, "Who are you wrestling in the semi?" He's like, "I don't know." You imagine that? How cool! What a cool customer that is. He doesn't even care who he's wrestling in the semifinals. Because think about it, it doesn't matter. It's an opponent. It's an opponent. That's it. It's another day in the office. It's just live wrestling. Because look, if you're going against someone who's 0-15 or they're 15-0, do you want to win? Do you want to do your best? So it doesn't matter the record? No. Does it matter who it is? No. There's only two things that matter in wrestling. Two. Who can guess what they are? No coaches. Who can guess what they are? Want to take a stab at it? You can go for one. There's two things that matter in every match. Scoring points. That's one of them. What's the other one?
Stance.
Pinning. Scoring points and pinning. That's it. Think about what else really matters. Even if you get taken down, right? Well, what do I have to do? Score points. Okay? Oh, I got an opportunity. This person's on their back. I'm going to pin them. That's only two things. Everything else doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter who their coach is, where you're wrestling, what time it is. Nothing else matters. So you want to be laser focused. Now, is that a prey mentality or a predator? It's a predator mentality, being focused on that. Now, if you're looking at the brackets, you're worried about who you're wrestling next, you're looking up and who you could have in the finals, that's a distraction. That's a total distraction to you. You know, you're not going to be able to focus on what you have to focus on. Scoring points and pinning. Everything else is useless. It doesn't matter who they just beat and how they beat them. Doesn't even matter if you wrestled that person before, does it? It's a new match every time you go out there. Every time you go out there, it's a new match. It doesn't matter. I mean, how many times have you guys, I don't know what your experience is, but I know their experience is quite extensive. How many times have you seen somebody, you know, go out there and lose someone and then maybe even in that same tournament, beat that person, right? It happens. It doesn't matter. What matters is two things: pinning and scoring points. And so you want to really analyze your behavior, analyze your thoughts. Okay? And that's another thing. You want to have consistent thought, consistent warm-ups, right? Do you have a set warm-up? Okay. Do you have a shotgun warm-up? Shotgun warm-up is sometimes we're caught off guard. Somebody gets pinned soon. Maybe 3 people get pinned quick, right? And I got to wrestle, right? I had 2 minutes to warm up. So you have to have that ready too. So these are all the different things that you have to do. And if you want consistent performance, you have to have consistent thoughts and consistent actions. Now, how many people want to be undefeated? How many people? How many people want to win the? What do you got? The middle state? What do you have? It's the Midland regions.
Regions and nationals. Yeah.
How many people want to win the regions and nationals? Okay, good goals. Do you have control over that? No. What do you have control over? The process getting there. Okay, you have 2 basic types of goals, right? You have objective goals, which are, you know, going undefeated, well, winning the nationals, winning the eastern regions, whatever, right? Those are objective goals. The process goals are the only ones you have control over. So what does a process goal mean? What is that? Coming to practice, getting the best out of my practice, making the best of the time that I'm there. Time's gonna go by, ladies. Time's gonna go by. What are you doing with it? Are you making the best of it? You have practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? Are you making the best of every rep? Think about it. And be honest with yourselves, because you know what? The person we lie to most is ourselves. Okay, yeah, I did enough. Oh yeah, I did good enough. Oh, that's enough. But if you are consciously trying to make every rep better every time you do something. Look, I do a lot of different types of training, and some of it I've been doing for 30, 40, 50 years. I still try to get better every rep, try to focus on it. That's how you get better. Whenever you're doing what's your favorite takedown? Single leg, right? Okay, good. How many times you practice that in practice? And do you try your hardest every time you do it? Do you try to use a good setup, a good finish, good penetration, whatever you're doing, right? Okay. So, you know, just to throw something out there, how many reps do you think it takes to master a move?
It's like dancing.
How many? There's actually a specific number. I mean, yeah, it's a number. Does anybody know it?
Take a guess.
Take a guess. How many reps? 1,000? Multiply that by 10. Okay, so 10,000 reps. Okay, so think about it. If you have your favorite move, your single, right? You want to master that, don't you? You want to get that so good that no one can stop you, right? So if you want to master that, you take that move, you do it 40 times a practice, 5 days a week. How many is that? It's 200, right? So 200 reps, right? 200 reps times 50 weeks. What's that? 10,000. So we're at 10,000, right? We just mastered that move. How long does it take you to do 40 single legs. Can you do that in like 10 minutes? So just think, 10 minutes of extra work a day for a year will have you master a move. Break it down like that. And you can do that with anything, guys. You can do that with anything. Think about it. Who's in control of that? Yeah, you are. Is there anyone here stopping you from doing that? No. No, there is. You know who that person is? The person in the mirror. Okay? The person in the mirror. And that starts here, and then gets to here, and becomes part of you. You have your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? So, you want to put those all together. And what do you think that that's going to do to your confidence if you do that? Right? How's your confidence level going to be? Yeah. There's going to be a move. Okay, here. You guys know who Jordan Burroughs is, right? Right? You know the guy, right? Okay. What is he famous for? Double leg, right? Double leg. And what's the first move you learn when you're wrestling, junior wrestling? Double leg, right? So he took the first move that everybody learns and beats everyone in the world with it. Why? How many times he's practiced that? I'd say more than 10,000. Probably just 10,000 a year, right? He's probably done it like 3 million times. Okay? Pretty good at it. It can get on anybody in the world. Just think. Why can't you do that? Is there a reason? No, there's no reason, right? And the thing is, what you have to do is you have to remind yourself of this. You have to remind yourself of this, and it has to be in your head. And you have to make yourself accountable. And make yourself accountable to this. So, now just looking at it, what do we want to do? We want to have a predator mindset, right? We want to focus on the objective goals or the process, right? The process goal will lead to our objective goal. And our two things that we focus on in wrestling are what? What are the two most important things? Scoring points and pinning. Nothing else matters. All the rest of it is a distraction or fluff. Okay. That's all I know. Do you guys have any questions or anything? You sure?
Yeah.
What was your turning point, like, to change your mindset?
Oh, great question. Like when I did the mindset training, okay, and then I realized that I had fallen into the like the distraction mode. Like, you're fighting this guy, fighting that guy. I mean, I thought some people were the best in the world. And if I go in there thinking that, I might just roll over and die, right? So what I have to do is I wound up getting what I was good at and just working on that. And getting good at those particular movements and getting good at those particular things and focusing on it. But that turning point was when I did my mindset training and I went through the process. We didn't have it like in a group like this. I just, I did one-on-ones because that's all, it was very small back then. And actually the cool thing is that Dr. Gilbert is on our hotline. Yeah. So he's on our hotline. So he leaves messages there and stuff and everything. It's pretty cool. But that's the guy who trained me. But that was like my turning point. I mean, that flipped a switch for me and, made me go from consistently inconsistent to consistently pretty decent. And I wound up, I achieved my objective goals because of me executing the process goals and having that proper mindset. Because think about it, guys. When if you're training and you're focused, you get really good at a couple of different moves. Well, how many different moves do you really need to know? Think about it. Well, more than one, but one from I recommend like you have like 2 from each position at least, right? How many? What is that? 6 moves? Okay, 7 moves, right? Okay, and that also, just to let you know, that goes along with B.F. Skinner, cognitive psychologist. The magic number 7, have you heard of it? Magic number 7 plus or minus 2? Because in a stressful situation, humans can only recall 7 plus or minus 2. So, if you have your 7 moves and then, hey, maybe you got a couple extra, maybe you have a couple less, doesn't matter. But if you have your movements that you know you can always hit, wow, you focus on those. Yes, sir.
a good way or exercise, say they realize that they're kind of in their own head, right, in the moment? Is there a good way or exercise that they can do in practice to help kind of get through that moment and
Great
fix their
question.
Training.
Yeah, great question. It's called a reset button. Called a reset button. And it's really funny because you guys know Mitchell Messenbrink? I just love watching that kid wrestle. I just I could watch him wrestle all day. I've seen him do resets right on the mat. I've seen him do the resets. So what do I mean by a reset? What you do is you do both a physical and a cognitive act that'll reset you. Okay. So when you're doing your mindset training, right? You can do let's say my physical was like, I clap my hands, and I'm saying in my head, let's go, let's go. So I'm resetting myself to let's go, and I've seen guys do that right on the mat. Okay. And everyone has their own. Some people do a head nod, some people shake their hands. So you have to, you want to have your reset. And remember that whenever you're doing a reset, if you pair a cognitive mind with a physical anchor, it's much stronger. You have a stronger bond. That's why also, I just give you a little tip on school. Whenever you're studying school, do you guys, how do you take notes? You type them in or?
Right.
Oh, you write them. Oh, that's beautiful. Because guess what? When you write, think about it. You're hearing and seeing, right? Now it's going through your brain, coming out your hand, you're writing it and seeing it again. Wow, look at that reinforcement. If you just listen to something, you have maybe a 5% retention. But if you write it down when you're doing it, that can increase your retention up to 10-fold. So that's one of the best things you can do. And then you read your own notes, it's in your own words. That's good, that's good. That's gonna help you dramatically. Any questions, anything else, guys? If you if you do, if your name, I'm gonna submit your name, so forth, and you get a free mindset session. Okay. I'd like to thank you for your time. You're awesome, and good luck this year. All right.